starts now.
And welcome in to First Alert Weather Extra. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt. Some lovely sunset photos out there. I was just going through here on my Twitter feed. This is a photo from Addison, Alabama, just in from Bob sharing that one. This is one from Cherokee County. You can see there lovely glow this evening with the sky clearing out. And what's interesting here is for parts of the area, it's still raining quite heavily in areas back to the south and east. Here's one from Tyler Young over in Trussville, and you can see there the clouds also really glowing that pinkish glow, kind of a cotton candy sky out there for parts of East Alabama as well. But thank you all for sending in the photos on the First Alert Weather app. We'll check out some of the weather app photos as well coming up. How about this one from the 22nd Bridge there in Birmingham? That is from Ryan Carty sharing that photo. If you don't follow me on Twitter, at Wes Wyatt Weather, you can find Lauren Linehan, all of our, Tania, Michelle, our entire team of meteorologists, Fred Hunter, JP, and Mickey, and Matt Daniel. Check us all out there on Twitter. All right, want to head over to the weather wall, show you what we're tracking, and while we have those lovely views across parts of the area, well, we've got the rain. You can see happening in areas here to the south and east, Clanton, back in towards Rockford, Talladega, and Ashland, and this is not moving right now. It is just a steady flow of rain. It is really coming down, and I really think we need to watch out for some flooding in some of these areas to the southeast tonight. Just want to give you that first alert. We could have a couple of trouble spots. We had Ajane, one of our reporters down in Clanton earlier, and every time we would go to Ajane, it was a nice, steady rain. I mean, it was really coming down. Don't be shocked if you hear a rumble of thunder here this evening. We do have a front here. It's stalled out, and this is providing rain, and sometimes along a stalled front, yeah, you can still get some storms. So don't be surprised if we have something that pops up there tonight. This is expected to drift a bit further south overnight, but some clouds, some rain will still be around right there along that 280 corridor, 231, Interstate 65 south through Chilton County. Plan for the possibility of some wet weather tomorrow morning. Then the rain comes back area-wide tomorrow night and into the day on Saturday. And this is one of the next big stories here, getting a lot of attention. We first alerted you on the possibility of some snow mixing in with the rain on Saturday, and we're going to be tracking a cold pocket of air aloft rotating across the state. We call those cold core lows. It's going to trail this system and really kick this rain and this entire system on out of here as it's kind of stalled out right now, but some upper level energy as that moves over Alabama and we get the rain back in here. It's possible that that system could help to cool the atmosphere enough to where we get some snow that reaches the ground, especially highest elevations, Lookout Mountain. You get in towards places like Chandler Mountain, perhaps Mount Cheaha. It wouldn't shock me if at the very peaks of the mountains there by Sunday morning we see a little coating of snow in some of those areas. That's how close it's going to be here with this setup. That's why we need to pay close attention. Check the app for updates. But it looks like from roughly 11 o'clock Saturday night through about 6 a.m. on Sunday, there's a chance some wet snowflakes can mix in with the rain around the area. Again, we're just right there at the borderline. If the models trend a little bit colder, a little bit more intense with this low, kind of a change in the track that could impact if we do see maybe a brief change over into Sunday morning. But the way it looks right now, at the most, it looks like it's probably going to mix in, may briefly change over at times far east as this low spins out of the state. But that's just based off of the guidance that we have right now. That could change tonight, tomorrow. It's important you do check in for updates. But that's just the first thing that we're going to be talking about, the cold rain on Saturday, dreary setup, and then that changeover possible in some higher terrain there late Saturday night. But next week, it doesn't slow down. We've got the warm temperatures coming back, and for folks watching here around Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama, that severe weather storm fuel is going to be coming back in a big way. It looks like around Wednesday and Thursday. Last night, we were lucky, no severe weather in central Alabama. We did have some severe weather, parts of Louisiana, down along coastal areas. This one looks to have at least at this stage, the severe weather ingredients comparing to the last system are a bit more elevated this time in the data. So watch out Wednesday, Thursday. Could see a little bit of rain around Tuesday, but at this point I wouldn't cancel any dinner date plans you have for Valentine's. I still think that the risk for if we did get another severe threat would happen late Wednesday night into Thursday that we would need to watch out. But that's the First Alert Weather headlines tonight. Again, rain southeast. a break in the action for right now. Areas further north, further west. But we'll be watching that rain coming back late tomorrow and into tomorrow night. So stay with us right here. We're going to have the full 7-day forecast. We go beyond the 7-day forecast. And also coming up here on Weather Extra, more on that Middle East earthquake we've been telling you about, and the wildfires in Chile and snow in the Midwest. Stay with us. You are watching Weather Extra.
Every storm has a story, where it came from, where it's going, and the lives impacted in between. Where our story begins is with your first alert, warning you well ahead of time so the chapter in between isn't filled with surprises. The largest team on your side, dedicated to telling the story that starts and ends with you. This is why we First Alert.
First Alert, we are tracking
In times like this,
we now have a tornado warning that's active.
having a way to see and hear what's happening on your phone,
The most intense part of this storm right now is tracking towards Shelby County.
that means everything.
Okay, you need to get in your safe place now. Stay there. We will let you know when this warning expires. Stay with us.
Download the First Alert Weather app today. Stay alert. Stay with the First Alert Weather Team. Mornings, they're yours. Where you start fresh, get your body moving, and tackle a new day. Our mornings are for you. Janice, Mike, Mickey, and Toy, starting early and staying with you all morning long. With more voices speaking to you where you are, and getting to the point with more First Alert weather and traffic from the source you trust. Always on your side. This is Good Day, Alabama.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. We know January was unusually wet for us here in central Alabama, and it looks like February is now trying to pull out all the stops. But you may be wondering, is there anywhere in the state that is a little drier than average? We check in with meteorologist Matt Daniel for an update.
Well, thankfully, last night we didn't see any severe weather, just some rain. And in fact, the rain sort of fell apart as it was traveling towards the east, and that's what we were thinking. So I want to show you over the past 24 hours some preliminary rain and wind that was recorded. So these rainfall totals could be adjusted once we verify it tonight. But in Birmingham, we saw a peak gust right around 40 miles an hour, only about 1/10 of an inch of rainfall. Out of Coleman, where we saw a wind gust near 33 with almost 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch of rain. The higher rainfall totals were mainly West Alabama. Towards Tuscaloosa, picked up a little over 1/2 of an inch with the wind gusts up to 33, and we saw winds gusting up to 38 in Haleyville and only 23 in Anniston. So we're not going to see as much wind over the next 24 hours, but let's talk about the rain for the month so far. So we haven't picked up a lot for the month of February for Birmingham, and then as you can tell, looking at the monthly average rainfall, we start to see pretty high rainfall totals, especially towards March and also into July. So this is usually our wet period, so we're likely going to see more rain on the way. Here's the average rainfall in February. We usually average about 5 inches in Birmingham, a little over 5 inches in Tuscaloosa. And for right now, Tuscaloosa is the winner with almost an inch of rainfall there. And we're going to add on to that going into the weekend most likely. So here's a look at the past 5-day rainfall totals. And you can see all the rain in parts of Mississippi, where they saw some stormy weather and even some flooding in Arkansas, but that rain is really diminished in parts of central Alabama. So here's a look at the 5-day rainfall totals to the north. Notice the higher totals in West Alabama towards Hamilton. Maybe 1/2 of an inch was estimated through radar, almost 1/4 of an inch in Jasper, but only a trace or even just a few hundredths in parts of Gadsden in the Anniston area. About 1/4 to 1/2 an inch along Interstate 65. Higher totals in parts of Lamar and Pickens County almost picked up an inch of rainfall in a few spots and about a quarter to a half of an inch farther to the south and east. Here's a look at the updated drought monitor, and once again the drought remains pretty nasty across the central and western parts of the United States, but we've had a lot of rain recently, so that has really knocked the drought out of the south and east. We're only seeing some abnormally dry conditions just to our south. We are looking pretty good across north and central Alabama. But over the next 5 days, we have a lot of chances for rain. Of course, we're monitoring this weekend and perhaps another chance for rain as we go into next Tuesday and maybe even into Thursday. So the unsettled weather pattern continues as we go into the middle part of February.
Thanks for that, Matt. And we know the rain has certainly been a nuisance for us here in central Alabama so far in 2023. Other parts of the U.S., though, have been getting some legit winter weather like snow in Kansas City. Take a look at this. After an initial period of rain yesterday, flakes started to fall overnight, making for some winter wonderland views this morning over in Missouri. What happened with this system? To get a little nerdy on you, we had some enhanced dynamic lift in the atmosphere. And when that happens, which could very well happen in our case this weekend, it leads to rapid cooling. And so that rain, as it is falling, it goes through air where temperatures have been dropping quickly. So when that happens, the rain transitioned to snow, bringing some snowflakes to KC this morning. This is the same system that brought us wet weather last night and still keeping some lingering showers around this evening south of I-2059 here in Alabama. But it wasn't only Missouri that got in on the snow. Iowa, check that out. This may actually make me want to move to Iowa. Here is a look at I-380 near downtown Cedar Rapids, where snow started to fall in the city this morning. Forecasters in Iowa went with about 2 to 5 inches of snow, which sounds gargantuan to us here in the southeast. The snowfall totals generally fell in that range, but some areas where you had those isolated higher amounts, that snow bands that set up, that dumped some more snow, 6 to 9 inches of very wet snow in Dubuque County. So lots of snow. We'll see if we get in on a little bit of that this weekend. And though not directly related to weather, we have meteorologist Tania Michelle taking us on a trip around. Tania, you want to move a little to the right?
I need to go around.
There we go.
Camera.
Yeah. Tania actually, this is funny. Tania actually was around the world and just got back. Welcome back.
I did. Thank you so much.
We are so glad to have you here, Tania.
That is so crazy. I'm sorry about being out the frame, guys. I'm here, okay?
Yeah,
I'm actually
she's
here. And this is what we're talking about now. Okay, so although like Lauren was saying, this is not directly related to weather, but people are experiencing some more concerns due to the weather after this. So a disaster occurred in Turkey and Syria earlier this week. It was an earthquake where more than 11,000 people have been killed and 10,000 of others were injured after a magnitude 7.8 earthquake struck on Monday. The Turkish president arrived at an emergency relief area which was near the epicenter. And this drone video, coming up really shortly, will show the collapsed buildings and rumble that caused this earthquake. But now the freezing weather conditions are actually further endangering the survivors and complicating rescue efforts as more than 100 aftershocks have struck the region. Take a look at this.
Beneath crumbled neighborhoods, signs of life. On top a pile of debris, rescuers cheer and carry a child to medical help. These 2 children and other survivors freed from the tangle of steel and concrete. Over in northwestern Syria, where some areas are controlled by anti-government rebels, aid agencies are especially worried. It's home to more than 4 million people already relying on humanitarian help.
This country has already been suffering from the devastation of the war. And now to have those crises, this earthquake on top of the crisis, it's like the perfect storm that nobody ever wished for.
Another worry, as cold settles in, many survivors now homeless and facing freezing temperatures. At this Istanbul Aid Collection Center, organized chaos. Food, water, and other necessities stacked high. But it's not enough. Hospitals in war-torn Syria are overloaded, says UNICEF, and the widespread damage caused a temporary disruption to the United Nations' only approved crossing to deliver aid into Syria.
The fact is the Assad regime continues to block aid, and he, alongside Russia, have stopped and blocked cross-line and cross-border aid to millions of civilians that are out in the cold.
Calls are mounting for the U.S. and United Nations to do more. I'm Isabel Rosales reporting.
All right, and now wildfires burning in Chile are among the deadliest in country's record. Forest fires burning in central and southern Chile have led to at least 26 deaths and nearly 2,000 injuries in what is among the deadliest for that area. And over 724,000 acres have been ravaged by fires this season, and forecasts for higher temperatures stretching from Santiago to the southern regions have been the focal point of the flames and have also raised more concerns. The forest fires are burning up the habitats of vulnerable woodland animals and endangering the pudu, which is actually the world's smallest deer.
Thanks for that update, Tania. Coming up, we check in with Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt for what's going on with our weather here at home. Could we see anything in the way of snow this weekend? Not sold on it yet, but we'll see. And then I'll take you beyond the 7-day First Alert Weather Extra. We'll be right back.
Are you noticing mold or discoloration in your shower? Or maybe you just want to replace that old bathtub with something more modern and luxurious? Well, either way, we've got you covered. Hey everybody, I'm joined by BJ Worzen, owner of West Shore Home, to talk a little shower and bath remodeling and how West Shore is making the entire process from start to finish fast and easy. BJ.
Thanks, Joe. At West Shore Home, we understand the headaches and stress a remodeling project can cause. That's why everything that we do is designed to make it stress-free for our customers.
A lot of people don't think of remodeling as stress-free, especially bath remodeling. So how are you making a complicated process easier?
Everything in our process can be done from the comfort of your own home. Give us a call and we'll send one of our bath experts out that has a time that's most convenient for you. And when it comes time for that installation, we're going to send one of our employee installers out and complete that project in as little as 1 day.
So no running out to big box stores and comparing samples and colors and then maybe waiting months for the installation. You're saying this is an all-inclusive process, making it really fast and easy for customers. That's great. Now, BJ, I understand you have a flash sale going on right now. Tell us about that.
That's right, Joe. Right now, anyone that gives us a call, we're going to do free installation on all shower and bath remodeling projects. On top of that, we're going to be doing 12 months, no interest, no payment financing. That means you can get that bath project done right now and not have to make any payments or pay any interest until 2024.
Free installation, that's a great offer. Well, let's see some projects you've done recently.
Absolutely, let's take a look. Here, we were able to completely remove an outdated shower and bath and install something that matched the rest of their bathroom. That low step feature is going to make getting in and out of that shower really easy. And the sleek matte black hardware looks amazing. Here's a few more. All of these were installed in 1 day, and just a reminder, for a limited time, anyone that calls will get free installation on their shower and bath project.
BJ, thanks so much. Folks, call West Shore Home now for this limited time offer. It's free installation on all shower and bath projects. Plus, for limited time, BJ is doing 12 months of no payments and no interest financing. Get your shower project now and don't worry about making a single payment until 2024. Call West Shore Home now.
All right, welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra, and just checking our weather app here, Wileen, and this is in the Anniston area. Let's see what we got here. Lovely sunset view. See if we'll get this to pop up. Come on, sunset. Well, we had it a few moments ago. We'll check out another view. Let's see what we have. This is, I think maybe I need to actually turn the display, but you got to love when the iPad does not want to cooperate. But we had a beautiful sunset view. You can see right there, though. That is from Calhoun County. Earlier tonight, we had some clouds that cleared out, but it's quite cloudy in those areas there off to the south where we do have some rainfall. But I want to thank you, Wileen, for sharing that with us and the First Alert Weather team. Keep those photos coming. We're going to go through and share some of those on the weather app. But looking off to the south around Oak Grove, we got some rain, we got clouds, 53 degrees right now, and the rain is going to continue to fall. It is pouring in some of these areas from Clanton across Coosa County, and you see Rockford, Talladega, back in towards Ashland. This system, this is a stalled front. It's here, it's not going to move, so this rain is going to continue. We may have some flood issues in here overnight tonight with this rain just quite steady, and it wouldn't surprise me if we had a rumble of thunder, but a steady flow of these showers training from southwest to northeast. This may lessen up a bit in intensity late tonight. Some of the models suggest that, but the radar is telling us otherwise, what we see right now. Looking back to the north and northwest, we have 50s and 60s showing up. The lows tonight will be in the 40s, those far north and northwest areas, so plan for a cold start early tomorrow morning. Get ready, Clanton, another pocket of heavy rain here just to the south that's about to move in, giving you the first alert. Also, back in around Sylacauga, may get a rumble of thunder here with some of this. There's a Waldo and back into Clay County. County, tracking these showers moving in towards center west and also areas like Delta, south to Ashland. Rain crossing there around Highway 9 in those areas, but tracking to the north and east. Next 24 hours, watch what happens. Some of the latest data still shows 9 o'clock tonight. Rain still falling in here overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning. Still coming down some of these areas to the southeast. Temperatures dropping into the 40s. We stay dry where it's not raining right now, but the rain comes back tomorrow night. We start to see the clouds thickening up during the day tomorrow. We'll start out tomorrow dry in these areas to the north, but for the drive home, we may start to see that setup where you may need to flip on the windshield wipers once or twice in some areas, especially south. The drizzle and the mist and the showers, that all starts to develop and materialize late Friday night and into Saturday. You know, we may catch a few breaks on Saturday, but what we're tracking here is another one of these upper level lows that comes through. And, you know, when it comes to the kind of weather you have with a system like that, well, one thing on the checklist is a dreary setup. Cloudy sky, cold temperatures, and likely tomorrow night when we drop into the 40s, we'll probably stay there throughout the day on Saturday. Cold, cloudy, and mostly a lot of rain for us. But with a system like this, and especially a couple days out, the models don't handle these things very well. They're very tricky because it's a pocket of cold air aloft, and when these upper level lows move over, sometimes what can happen is dynamic cooling can take place. If the precipitation's heavy enough, it can bring down those temperatures. That freezing layer can move down closer to the surface, and that's why we think what's going to happen here Saturday night is if we do get a pocket of that heavier precipitation, and it depends on the track of the low, the intensity. If it takes a deeper dive south, that could mean maybe some snow mixing in across our northern counties, perhaps late Saturday night. This model in particular, this is from the GFS model, I believe. Actually, I think this is our in-house Barron model. That's what this is. It's one of the higher resolution, 15 kilometer, and it's showing, you can see some blue there showing up in the rain. So it's a very borderline scenario, which it always is around here, right? But greater chance areas to the east and north based on the models. This is agreeing with some of the global data as well. We could see maybe a brief mixture again Saturday night and into early Sunday morning. Notice the temperature in Anniston, 39, 38 in Birmingham, 40 degrees in Tuscaloosa. So with those kind of temperatures, ground's going to be wet, and bridges, everything's going to be wet out there. But even with temperatures above freezing in these setups, you can still have some snow that reaches the ground because the air above us, the air's cold enough to support that. So don't be shocked. Late Saturday night, a lot of folks are going to be out and about in Birmingham Sunday morning. We had the Mercedes Marathon, and if you're out and about and you start to notice some raindrops and maybe some snow grains mixing in there early Sunday morning, no need to run for the bread and milk. It will be moving out, and we should have some improvements. You know, we got the Super Bowl on WBRC on Sunday, so we should have some clearing there during the afternoon. If we did have one area based on what we know today where we could see some snow accumulation, the high terrain, Mount Cheaha, Lookout Mountain, some of the highest elevations to the east and northeast. It wouldn't surprise me. We see maybe a little bit of snow there on the peaks of some of those mountains there in the early morning Sunday. So next week, what we're going to be watching is the transition. It's turn off the AC this weekend. Well, it's crank the AC back up next week, as we have the next big thing, the next system that's going to move in. Looks like the severe ingredients come back in a big way next Wednesday and Thursday. So we're looking at, you can see this is the storm fuel, the CAPE, the instability, and these values this far out look more impressive compared to last week, but you can see there in the Mississippi, especially if you're watching us here around Jackson and back in towards Louisiana as well. All states here from Louisiana to Mississippi, Alabama need to stay weather alert for this forecast Wednesday into Thursday. We've got the wind energy, the instability coming back, and there could be a severe risk that sets up next week once again. Maybe Wednesday and Thursday, that's what it looks like. If you have dinner plans, a date plan for Valentine's, it looks like for Tuesday it's mostly showers, but we had that first alert for storms coming back as we go into Wednesday and Thursday. It looks like Wednesday night and into next Thursday that we're going to be watching there. But a very active pattern, and I want to go ahead and bring in meteorologist Lauren Linehan. And Lauren, today when I was looking at all this, I said, "Oh, here we go again." I'm not going to be bringing the good news for today, because it just seems like every week so far this year we've had some sort of severe weather risk across the region. And I believe so far just one week where we have not had a convective outlook across our region.
Yeah, Wes, so as we look beyond the 7-day, it still looks like we could be seeing the potential for above average rainfall in the forecast, and that does include here in Alabama as well. So it doesn't necessarily look, as Matt showed us with that drought monitor, that we're going to see anything that would bring drought to our neck of the woods. As we look beyond the 7-day, we do have that potential for some more rain. This is next Thursday, that system Wes was talking about, showing it around for a good portion of the day on Sunday. Still too early to map out the timing, but just want to give you that first alert for next Thursday, hopefully drying out past next Friday morning. And then as we go into next weekend, hoping to see some improvements there as well. But I will tell you that pattern is still looking warm. Coming up, we have a final look at that 7-day forecast and a little wildlife story to put a little pep in your step on this Thursday evening. We'll be right back.
Every storm has a story, where it came from, where it's going, and the lives impacted in between. Where our story begins is with your first alert, warning you well ahead of time so the chapter in between isn't filled with surprises. The largest team on your side, dedicated to telling the story that starts and ends with you. This is why we First Alert.
First alert, we are tracking
In times like this,
we now have a tornado warning that's active.
having a way to see and hear what's happening on your phone,
The most intense part of this storm right now is tracking towards Shelby County.
that means everything.
Okay, you need to get in your safe place now. Stay there. We will let you know when this warning expires. Stay with us.
Download the First Alert Weather app today. Stay alert. Stay with the First Alert Weather Team. Mornings, they're yours. Where you start fresh, get your body moving, and tackle a new day. Our mornings are for you. Janice, Mike, Mickey, and Toy, starting early and staying with you all morning long. With more voices speaking to you where you are, and getting to the point with more First Alert weather and traffic from the source you trust. Always on your side. This is Good Day Alabama.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. We always like to include animals in our Weather Extra here, as they are part of the environment. We have a look at a recovery story from an eagle right now.
This bald eagle crashed into a fence in Greenville in Monroe County last October. The bird's attempt to flee made his injury worse. The eagle ended up breaking his humerus, causing him to lose his ability to fly. As if that wasn't enough, he also had a high lead content, which ended up making him sick. But after extensive surgery and rehab, this eagle can take flight once again, and he was released to answer the call of the wild.
You can see the muscles healed beautifully, so he is now lead-free, so he's out here to join in the other young eagles that are hanging out around Bluestone Lake.
And Bluestone Lake is the perfect habitat for the young eagle. Ever since the 1990s, bald eagles have been making Bluestone their home thanks to conservation efforts. Dams built in the 1940s and 50s helped create the perfect habitat for bigger fish and waterfowl, some of the eagle's favorite food. But how do we prevent wildlife from ingesting lead in the first place? One option is to switch from lead tackle when fishing. Lead ammunition is also the leading cause of lead in animals.
And there's plenty of options out there for non-lead ammunition. The prices have come down to now where it's competitive.
The best way to protect the habitats of not only eagles, but for us too, is to stop putting lead into the environment altogether.
You know, we made the decision decades and decades ago to take lead out of gasoline, and it made a huge difference in the environment. We can do it again.
It took about 4 months in total for the Eagle's rehabilitation, which is right on target. He is expected to thrive in his new home in Bluestone Lake.
We always love a happy ending, and we will be having some more rain in the forecast this weekend. Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt will break it out tonight on First at 9. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. Have a safe and happy Thursday evening.